Hello everyone, my name is Pris from Prisperuses and welcome to another video. This is going to be a gigantic unhaul. I want to do a reorganization of my bookshelves behind me. You can see they're very messy at the moment. But in order to do the reorganization that I want to do, I need to get rid of some books, and mostly young adult. This is a genre I have not enjoying as much, and I have many books that I've either already read and did not enjoy, or that I don't think I'm ever gonna read. I have so many books here, so I will go through them, but I'm not gonna be talking about what they're about, because then we're gonna be here for such a long time. Do let me know down below in the comments which book that you think that I should keep and the reasons why, because I'm always interested to hear about your thoughts. But yeah, let's just dive in this gigantic pool of books. First up, we have Moxie. I have not read this, nor do I intend I ever will. Then we have Dare and Fall, which I read. If you ask me what this is about, I could not tell you. I have forgotten everything about this. But I have read this, I enjoyed it at the time, but now it just has to go. Next up, we have One of Us is Lying and Two Can Keep Her Secrets. I did enjoy One of Us is Lying, but I don't intend that I will ever gonna continue with these books, because I think there are way better YA thrillers out there, like Good Girl's Guide to Murder and Truly Devious. So these books are gonna have to go. Then we have Before She Ignites, a YA fantasy that I have zero interest in reading. Another same one is The Glittering Chord. Will I ever read this? I don't think so. Next up, we have Nocturna. I did read this. It's a beautiful Fairy Loot edition as well. I did read this. I did not enjoy myself. I was very boring, and this was just not for me. Then we have The Shatter Me. This is the only book I have in the series. Will I ever start this series? No, I don't think so. I have just way too many books that I'm more interested in, so this has to go. Then we have Catwoman by Sarah J. Maas. This is a Sarah J. Maas book, so technically I should be all over it. But I'm just not very interested in these DC comic books. I have another one in this stack somewhere that just has to go, because I had these forever and I still not read it. Next up is The Hand, the Eye, and the Heart. Very much an impulse buy, kind of a cover buy, because the cover is really gorgeous, but I don't have time for this. Then we have The Thousandth Floor, which I was very interested about when I bought it. I'm gonna say this about all these books because that's the reason I bought them. But I've lost interest over time, and now it is time to part ways. Next up is The Novice. This is another YA series that I just don't really have time or interest in reading. I'm just not vibing with it. Next up, we have Everlast. I have not read this, nor do I intend I will. I also have not heard the great things about this, so it has to go. Next up is Viper. This does sound relatively interesting, but this is just the case that I have so many books I have not read before, and I do need to make choices, and this unfortunately has to go. Next up, we have The Blade and the Heart and also Freaks by the same author. I don't think I'm ever gonna get to these. They don't speak to me whatsoever, so they have to go. Next up is For a Muse of Fire, another YA fantasy that I lost my interest in over time. I think this was also in a book box, maybe Fairy Loot, I'm not sure. But yeah, I'm not gonna read this. Then we have The Glass Spare. This is the same case, another YA fantasy that just sounds like a dozen in a pile, and I don't have time for it. Then we have The Ballad of Songbirds and Snake. This is the Hunger Games prequel. I was all over this when it came out, when it was announced. I was so excited, and I love the Hunger Games series, but unfortunately I still have not read this, and I lost complete interest in this because I've heard nothing but not so great things about this, and I just don't want it to tarnish my memory of the Hunger Games, because I actually really love those books and I love the movies, and I want to keep it that way. Next up is T is for Tree. I have no idea what this book is about, but it has been on the shelves forever, so therefore it must go. Then we have A Court of Miracles, which I also have not read, but I have lost my interest in this over time, so I'm getting rid of it. Then we have a stack of Gail Forman's books that I'm getting rid of. I have read most of these. I did enjoy them whilst I was reading them. This was back in the day when my taste was very much contemporary. But I'm not keeping these because I don't think I'm ever gonna reread them, and I don't think I would enjoy them as much if I did. Next up is This Time Will Be Different. I read this, I relatively enjoyed it, but now it has to go. Then we have Perfectly Preventable Deaths. This was also kind of a cover buy, but it has been on the shelves forever, and therefore we need to open up some space. Next up is a semi-definite list of worst nightmares. No idea what this is about. I cannot even remember buying this, so it has to go. Next up is The Sun Is Also a Star. I think I probably want to watch the movie, but I don't have really interest in reading the book. I do think that this could be like a great book to read, but I just don't have the time and my interests lay elsewhere. Next up is Nixia. I saw this somewhere and bought it. This was back in the day where I very much like thought that I should have all the books in the world, and I went on crazy buying sprees. Like I saw books somewhere and I immediately bought them, and now many of these have to go. Next up is Snow Like Ashes and also Fire Like Ice. This is a series. I own the first 2 books, but I have zero interest in reading these, so they're gonna be on hold. Then we have The Surface Breaks, which I read, did not enjoy. It's a Little Mermaid retelling, not a very good one, so it has to go. Then we have Bone Crier's Moon, which was in a Fairy Loot book. Did not hear the greatest things about this, and I have zero interest in reading this. Next up we have Truth or Dare, also a book that has been on my shelves forever, so therefore it has to go. Next up is Geekerella. This could be fun, but am I gonna read this? I don't think so. Then we have Things a Bright Girl Can Do. Can't remember ever buying this, so it has to go. Then we have This Is Where It Ends, which I believe is about a school shooting, which could be hard-hitting, but I have just too many books and I need to make choices, so this one has to go. Good lord, there are so many books. Okay, last stack we're going through now. Holy shit, I'm getting rid of all of these, and it feels kind of amazing, not gonna lie. But last stack, guys. We're nearing the end. Next up is the Stormcrow, which is actually an arc I got in a Fairy Loot box. I read it. Relatively enjoyed it, but am I going to continue the series? No, I won't. Next up is Saw Kill Girls. Was interested in it when I bought it, but has lost its interest for me over time. Then we have Batman by Marie Lu. This is the other one DC comic or DC novel that I have, but I don't intend ever reading this. Next up we have another stack of Marie Lu's books. I put Warcross on my self-destruct books because I think that sounds the most interesting out of these. I don't think I'm ever gonna read these Marie Lu books, and yeah, I don't have time to read these, so they're gonna have to go. Next up is Once and Future. This sounded really great, then the reviews came out and they weren't great at all. So I kind of lost my interest in this one. Next up is The Memory Book, which is a contemporary book that I have zero memory of. Ha. You see what I did there. Next up is 13 Reasons Why. I did watch the Netflix show. It was very intense, very hard-hitting. I don't want to read the book because I think it will make me feel very bad, and that's not what we're going for. But yeah, I saw the Netflix show, but I'm not gonna read the book. Next up is The Beast is an Animal. Don't remember ever buying this. The cover is kind of cute. It's like this foil. It is nice, but I'm not gonna read this. Next up is Daughters of Narai. I read this. I enjoyed it relatively. It was kind of a YA, a 1 in a dozen, you know, your standard YA book. Did enjoy it, did not love it, and therefore it has to go. Next up we have Flame in the Mist and Smoke in the Sun by Renee Adie. I don't think I'm ever gonna read these. These have been on my TBR for so long. These are one of the first books I ever bought, I think, when I started collecting books. I just lost all my interest in them. Then we have The Wrath and the Dawn and The Rose and the Dagger, also by Renee Adie. Same story. I have these books for so long and I don't think I'm ever gonna read them. I just need to unhaul them. Then we have also The Beautiful by Renee Adie. I was really excited about this. I was like, yes, vampires, cool, this sounds really amazing, oh my gosh. And then I heard not so great reviews about this, and the vampires aren't really present in this book, so I lost my interest in this, and just as the other Renee Adie books, it just has to go. Oh my gosh, we are nearly there. The last books I'm getting rid of is the A Study in Charlotte series. I bought this series because I thought I was gonna love them. These are like YA mystery thrillers. I read A Study in Charlotte. I hated it. I thought it was very badly done. Did not like the characters at all. So I won't continue the series. We have like A Question of Holmes, The Case for Jamie, and The Last of August. But these books have to go because I did not enjoy A Study in Charlotte at all. There are so many better YA thrillers, as I previously mentioned. So they are all gonna have to go. Those are all the books I'm getting rid of. Those were 59 books I am getting rid of. This feels really good. As you can see behind me, the shelves are really messy right now. But I am planning on doing a big reorganization of my bookshelves to make them all look pretty again. What I want to do is extend my middle grade collection because I have so many middle grades at the moment where I don't have room for. That's why I'm getting rid of all of these YA books. One of these YA bookcases behind me is going to turn into a middle grade case. So yeah, that's gonna be really exciting. I am planning on doing this book reorganization in April, so I'm hoping after that I can also film a bookshelf tour for you guys. Let me know down below in the comments if one of these books is your favorite book and I should keep them. Let me know why. I'm always interested to listen. This was it for now. This was the big gigantic unhaul. I hope you have enjoyed. If you did enjoy, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thank you all so much for your continued support. You do honestly mean the world to me. I'm gonna leave you now. I will hopefully see you soon with another video. Bye!